okay, let's say you're going to trade cloud trading, or you are going to trade that moving average bullshit. There is a way to get in these markets. And one of the critical things is to, now this guy's going to tell us that the chart pattern trading, the truth, this is the Stefan Molyneux approach to trading. The truth about trading chart patterns. Part 1, and everybody's waiting for part 2, and this was published in January 1st. So everybody's just on bated breath here with this guy. 78,000 subscribers, man. He's got 41,000 fucking views and 400 comments. This guy is the cutting edge of trading. And I want to just see if anybody of my small audience of people has even heard about some of the stuff people are saying in these comments. People are making claims that robots are trading crypto. That's why you can trade patterns there. It's mostly traded by robots. So I've been putting some feelers out there, some questionnaires into the comments saying, really? Okay. Really? Okay. I have to give it a thumbs down. And I don't know if I've made a comment yet, but this is the Dumo Amigato initiative, financial education. At least he's not telling you that he's how to trade the markets to make money. It's just educational purposes only. So I got this thing at 2x speed. Domo, Mr. Roboto Amigato.
Rise. A study by the Better Business Bureau has found that younger people between the ages of 18 and 24 were 3 times less likely than seniors to recognize a scam, while those between the ages of 25 to 34 were more likely to report losing money to a scam.
I like a good scam. It gets the party started. You know, if you scam me once, fool me twice, scam me twice, scalp your account.
It's believed that this is due to something known as optimism bias, which makes them feel...
I do have optimism bias, or I wouldn't be trading. If I didn't think I could make money at it, I wouldn't be trading. And even if I'm half-assed at it, I mean, a lot of people have been able to... Look at Bill Gates. This putz, just because he happened to be there with the code in hand, and now he's just fucked that thing up. You've seen the interviews of that guy on TED Talks? You want to go up there and kill him. Fucking mush head.
Invulnerable and therefore not take safety precautions. However, when it comes to trading, there's something...
Now look at this screen. This guy produced the shit out of this. It's like you're in the screen looking out. You know, he's got this backwards. I guess he didn't want to be accused of giving out real quotes. Oh, somebody copied that. They thought it was a good trade. Now they're suing me. Why would he flip that up? What this guy?
Even more deceptive at play. Charts.
Oh, no, these are gorgeous charts. Now, I do like, where did he find this? He must have just run the EA with the best template, and he actually shot the screen in some kind of, it's kind of a nice effect.
Now, this might
That's MT4, you can see by the grid.
sound really strange, but it's because of the charts themselves that many trading marketers can separate people
Oh, God, those guys are trading against me again. Shit.
from their hard-earned money without really having anything decent to offer in return.
Oh,
You see,
man, come step away from the keyboard, man. You're stopping me out. That's the broker trading against me.
I think the charts are similar to clouds. If you speak to a nephologist, the clouds and cloud formations can reveal a lot of information. Yet someone that knows nothing about real cloud formations can still peer at the
I
clouds
remember that. That was the honeymoon phase. Oh, my God.
and maybe see an elephant, or a house, or an Instagram trader. The reason we see these shapes
See
is
a divorce core is what I see.
down to something known as the clustering illusion. This is the tendency for us to find streaks, clusters, and patterns in random distributions
Oh, cluster illusion. Dude.
and consider them to be non-random. It's just the way our brain works. We don't deal well with random, and we desperately want to give
Oh,
things
is that my brain? No, that's fucking, what is that? Mona Lisa on a cracker?
meaning instead. Now, the same applies in the markets as well. I'm not saying that the charts are random, because they aren't. However, using
I'm not saying they're random because look at that beautiful doji entry. Look at that pattern. Now, what I'm saying is this guy's misconstruing what a pattern is. Maybe I'm too fractal about it, but is it really that hard to see this stuff? That is a pattern. Open to close is not changed. From here to here is a small amount. And this is a spinning top. So you should have a spinning top trade plan. You should have a big hammer trade plan, which means you're going to have to risk more. You should have a... you could actually take all the classic candlesticks. How many are there? Let's just do like... I don't know. I'm going to call everything with a small body a doji. This takes all the ambiguity out of your trade plan. If the market has opened and closed and not done anything, and it is inside, and I'm going to give it the inside bar pattern. So 2 bars can make a more complex pattern, but 1 bar is a pattern all in its own. A real candlestick trader is looking at each, is saying that is a spinning top doji. Do you have a trade plan for that? If the answer is no, then step away and let us real traders step in and trade this shit. Go back to your Gooberville existence. And why was this guy even making this chart up? And then he's going to take you through this like, it's just so funny. This is like the supposedly cutting edge of Forex right now, or trading.
Random data is a good way of testing whether a theory about them.
Wow, look at this consolidation here. Now he's going to tell you that this breakout doesn't work. And he's not even going to tell you how they tested this shit. This is so harebrained.
Markets holds any weight or not, and that's something we'll get onto in a second. But first of all, I want to explain to you what it is that I'm getting at with the clustering illusion. You see, there's one type of technical analysis that is the best friend of trading marketers, and it allows them to really take advantage of people's cognitive biases, and that is chart patterns.
Okay, now what he's going to do, he's going to blast chart patterns that they don't work. Listen, you got to know what you're looking at here, buddy. Let me just explain it to you. It's not, this is the closing prices, okay? Number one, these are good chart patterns. How do you trade this? Now, actually, this is a double bottom. You may call that a reversal, a flag, a pennant, whatever, right? You know what is happening here is the volatility is drying up. Let's hope on God's green earth you're trading this. You're trading the pattern. Okay, you may enter here on a stop like a goober fuck with a stop here, with your target here, and if the ratio is really good, right, that could be a falling, you could have a hedge built here that blows this shit out. This guy's, what he's saying is completely stupid. He's going to make an argument. It's a fake, it's worse than fake news. CNN's got more shit together than this guy. I don't even know why he's doing it. And the praise this guy gets in the comment, it's just, what is wrong with the world, man? You'd have to make the decision. Like, what, you wait till this has gone zigzag, 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 and then you put your order here? Okay, maybe. But you got to have an amazing target. You'd have to do it on multiple time frames and multiple currencies. You'd have to have, like, you can't just have a... The guy never even says where his stop is. Okay, now look at the stop here. That's completely different than if the stop's here. This is totally bogus. That's what I meant to say. Sorry. I know I don't complete sentences, but what I want to really say is that it's very bogus. Okay, I'll just start over. We'll just start over from the beginning. What I really want to say is this is really a bogus video.
I'm sure we've all heard of the traditional chart patterns that are taught in every free online resource.
Oh, the old rise. Actually, this is a very low volatility. See, the volatility is drying up. And the fact that this is a pennant. See, this is also where I would say these are both the same pattern. In my mind, these are both the same pattern. Only thing that's going on is lack of volatility. Now, this is pure linear consolidation. There's no way. There's no getting around that. And this is your body. Like if the market opened here and it closed there in 1 hour, you have a doji, right? This is your wick. This is your wick. That's all candles are just, you're taking this data to denoise it. Now, all you're going to see is the candle body, right? And here you're just going to see a candle body that looks like this, right? It's going to, because this takes a more, but this has a triangular vacuum forming underneath. Well, this is a flat vac versus angle vac, right? There's more compression. There's more like coming to the crest of a wave. That's why people want to trade a head and shoulders, because they figure the failure swing is going to be capitulation point. It's also going to break a double trend line in some way. So let me go back through his thing here.
every technical analysis book going, things like head and shoulders patterns, bull and bear flags, ascending and...
Oh boy. So this is just... He's just... You just can't... Because if that was the case, you would just launch goddamn pattern bots on the world. But it has to be so fine-tuned, it can't be... You gotta be, like, seriously, also trading big enough to make it worth your while, right? And you gotta be getting out of something along the way and taking profits, right? And you gotta have a clue kind of structurally what's going on also. So, but not really so much. Like here we have a bottom become a top at the top of that wedge. I mean, but what's really more important is, to me, this void is the pattern, right? This is, it's where it's not. And so, oh, looks like sunglasses. Interesting. All right, so oh, he's got the sunglasses on there. Is that intentional, these sunglasses, or I don't get it? Is that supposed to be some cool? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. This guy really, some guy said it was creepy.
Descending wedges, double tops, double bottoms, the list goes on.
Well, I guess that's the cool trade. Okay, here's where everybody's in pain because they just can't get their brain around what's going on in that fucking zigzag shit. Like, look at this. Is this necessary? I guess this is what we've come to, right? Notice how this is all written properly. You can copy this code all day long. You can trade that code all day long. But those numbers, he's got him. This guy's so politically correct, you could gag a maggot with this fucking presentation. It makes Jason Stapleton, is it his name? It makes him look like radical.
And on. Although it's unclear exactly when these patterns were first discovered, or who discovered them, they were definitely already in use almost 100 years ago when described by Richard Shabaka in 1930. They're nothing new, regardless of what some online companies may deceive you into believing. They're not something that someone online has discovered. In fact, these patterns are probably amongst...
They're caused by volatility, man. Can't you see that? These patterns exist everywhere. Look at the Richter scale fade of look at anything that's been shocked.
The oldest and most popular ways to trade based on technical analysis.
People, where does he find? He did an overlay of some guy, the bilateral pattern. That's the one that's crushing his brain.
They're accessible, they're easy to learn, and they make you feel like you've really figured out the market. The problem is, they're also pretty much useless. Alright guys, I just want to stop that there for a moment before I move on to
No ugly people allowed in his video, including him.
Explain what this all means and what the studies have shown.
Him and Jason were found in a bathroom together.
Quite understandably, this is bound to stir up
This is Nicholas Puri.
emotions in some people watching. Now, I appreciate that a lot of people watching will currently be trading using charting patterns, whether profitably or not. Perhaps you're still learning. And if you are using charting patterns, then the chances are you've been convinced to use them by some know-it-all trading marketer. And they probably
Some know-it-all trading market with gay hearts on his window.
told you about all the benefits of charting patterns and how successful they are. And the facts that I'm about to present to you will probably oppose some of those things that you believed to be true before. And therefore, it can be quite difficult to digest. There'll be a certain amount of cognitive
Digest. I threw up.
dissonance. You won't be able to accept it straight away. And you'll probably have all kinds of rebuttals and, what about this? Yeah, but this and that. And what I'll try to do throughout this video and the next part is to address a lot of those questions that could come up and I expect to come up. So I know it can take some time, but just bear with me and I'll try to address as much of that as possible.
Bear with me.
And I'm not presenting this to you to try to be smug or anything like that, because believe me, I have been there before. For decades, people have been saying that chart patterns work and been using them because they think that everyone uses them and that's the right way to trade. And so when I was learning, I thought I was really onto something when I learned these charting patterns, only to find out that I'd wasted a lot of time learning them. But what I later realized, and what I hope you'll realize as well, is that you haven't wasted your time learning these chart patterns. Yes, it may be that what you believe to be true about them is not the case, but the time and effort that you've gone into to learn them is good experience and it's going to make you a better trader overall.
That's what I'm saying.
Also, I do know some people are going to
Look at this. This guy's wearing a tie and he's using fucking chart patterns.
be saying that so-and-so is trading using charting patterns and they're incredibly profitable. And I will be addressing that as well. We'll be talking about this chart here that you see on screen, which may well be the most important P&L chart you ever see. And I think we can all agree that if you see a P&L like that, then you probably think that's a profitable trading system and you'd be happy to invest your money into it. So that's what we're going to be discussing in part 2 of this video, when we go into why some people are profitable using chart patterns and others are not. Anyway, let's get back to it. There have been many independent empirical studies over the years on the chart patterns that I mentioned and many more. The aim is to
So
find
he's basically going to say it doesn't matter which pattern, they all suck dick. That's what he's going to say.
emerge because something is leading to them being that way, like the pattern means something, they are just random occurrences. Secondly, following on from that first point, the number of times that the patterns appeared and the characteristics of the returns after they appeared was very similar between the price data that was real and the price data that was randomly generated. This means that the patterns themselves were not significant. There was no difference between what was happening with the real price movements and the fake price movements. In other words, they had no meaningfulness in the market. And finally, to be fair, some of the patterns were seen to have predictive power, which is a good sign, but unfortunately not a good enough sign, as this predictive power was not in a way that could generate any sort of profitable returns. This may mean
Okay, I'm assuming they're not using any money management. They're doing break-even orders. I mean, what is the criteria for testing? So that's why it's so harebrained, because there are times the market has a dynamic behavior of volatility. It is a volatility index. This is what's going to tell you how tight a stop to run, really, if you're going to use stops. Or how big the trade if you're not using stops, or just how big the trade. Because who's going to get in to a market that's smashing up and down 50 pips every 5 minutes? Who's trading that market? Most people want to get in to a market that's moving at a pace they feel comfortable getting in at, because the market could turn on you like a Doberman pincer at any moment. So what is now, if you get in during Asia and you scalp a few pips and you go to sleep and you're like, okay, I'm good. Or you're going to sit there and get in the London Open, you better just have a fucking wide stop. Because that trade that's underwater, if you're really a trend trader and you get in too early, you're like, okay, I got in too early. I didn't keep any powder dry. I put a fucking elephant gun and shot an ant with an elephant gun. Great. Genius. Or let's just say lazy because, I didn't put 2 tickets in. Really? You could put 2 tickets in there? So there's really no excuse for, just admit you don't know where the fuck the market's going to go in the next 5 minutes. And then just wait every 5 minutes to pull the trigger. I mean, if you pull the trigger once every hour, in other words, if you said you were only going to buy today, and any hour any currency was down, you'd buy it. How many trades can you do? You think it's going to go down for 24 hours? No. At the end of the day, with 5 different tightnesses of stops, say you have a 10, a 20, a 30, a 40, 50 pip stop, you're probably going to get stopped out of your 10 pip trades. I can't even imagine what these people are talking about. They talk about this fucking trading. Dude, the market can do anything at any moment. It's open fucking from Sunday to Friday in the Forex market. So, I mean, what are people thinking? Good Lord, man. So, I'm going to go down the comments here because it's just too fucking hilarious. Now, I've already responded to some people because I'm just 41,000 views. Are you fucking kidding me? Mr. Amagato, Domo, my experience of making big money from trading. Yeah, he probably trade without stops. Look at these people, and then of course he got so much backlash that he had to put up this notification here. He's like, leave me alone. He goes, since it seems there are some confusion from some viewers, this video is referencing traditional charting patterns, not technical analysis as a whole. He has to put that as a whole. It's never good to say that because unless you see it spelled out, you don't know what they're talking about. Look, he's got 40 thumbs up there. It's financial education, people. Can't wait for next week, the next video. Now, a lot of people are like, dude, where's the video coming? When's it coming? So, like this guy, a lot of people have already kind of asked the questions I would have. Many of us are just wondering, why not test MACD, stochastic Bollinger Bands, and trend lines the same way? Do you ever, now, with all your experience, have a losing month? Now, this guy's kind of going, like, you must be just killing it. Do you ever lose? And, of course, if patterns don't work, how could Bollinger Bands work, for God's sakes? So here we have one. So if patterns don't help us in making profitable trades, what is the alternative? Heroin? No, I'm just kidding. Trading fundamentals? That would be the alternative, right? Fuck those patterns. Hey, what'd Trump have for lunch? And another question, if a specific or Pacific pattern was identified by enough traders who agree on the expected outcome and act on it, wouldn't price be driven toward the fulfillment of that pattern's predictions? Now, a lot of people are asking this, the self-fulfilling prophecy of life. Okay, listen. What I think's really going on, and I've said it a million times, is when the market's doing nothing, it's not going anywhere, it's very quiet, there's a storm coming. It's either going to be up or down. And it could go up and then rip down. So it could actually tip into a window or a vacuum or a void or a vestibule. And then it could go catastrophically into the void that is the bigger void or foyer or great room. And there you go. Now, as it probes that area, it's going to have to take a breath. I mean, the trend traders would be, or the moving averages would be triggered once you leave the gate of congestion. You know, you're going to be in this, okay, well, let's see, can we get on the 5-minute chart? And yeah, I mean, sometimes you, unfortunately, you're a slave to the if you really want to jump into trades and have this dumb shit moving average rule system, you're going to have to go for like a 5-minute chart or a 15-minute chart, whatever it tells you. And sometimes you're going to have to go for the daily because the market is so fucking dead. Only the daily would make sense at this point. The pivots that are taking place and the very subtle things that you'd see on a daily chart, and I'm just speaking of closing prices only, just pure closing prices, and or just the candlestick, each weekly candlestick. You got 3 weekly dojis. Holy shit, something's going to go nuts. I mean, close-wise, we're either going to close up or down really hard out of a doji. Come on. 3 dojis, 5 dojis. Those would be another statistics. It would be better pattern searching to see statistically what's happened. Is how many dojis, what's the average 4 hours, I'm sorry, daily dojis? How many? And of course, you'd have to grade them because what if the doji's a dragonfly or a gravestone or a or even a spinning top, because a spinning top has low true range. It is a doji. And these patterns all need to be traded in a custom manner. There's no way around it. You need to have a fucking doji plan if you're going to trade candlesticks. Or if you're not, you could just use them like that goober that was counting back 5 bars. What an idiot. I'm sorry, but what's the point? You know how these markets function. Get the fuck in the goddamn trade already. I'm sick of these people. I wait for confirmation. You know, when it all gets to about $5,000, I think I'm going to get in. I think it's bullish. You're going to wait till it's $5,000? Well, yeah, I don't want to. You fucking think I want to buy something that's worthless? I don't get that mentality, man. That's just me. So, these are great questions, and this is the cutting edge 2 months ago. A lot of people early to the game. I was late to these people watched it. They're done. This came out 2 months ago. It's like an old movie. But yeah, so there is a self-fulfilling prophecy kind of thing. But, you know, I mean, come on. It's just about volatility and no volatility. It's the VIX. You are correct. And that these patterns aren't foolproof. No, they are not foolproof. Some have a higher success rate than others, but we are talking about 50 to 60 success rate at best. Actually, I would say more like 80% at best if you can see what's going on around you. I mean, these patterns, if you put a bias on them and you know you're going into a void and you see consolidation, it is the time to build a position within that pattern and ride that fucker out. And you're talking 80% of your money. You get to risk 20 to make 80 because you're also you're making money during the formation of the pattern. I hope you're scalping and padding your account as you're building what you know. This stuff is just not that hard, man. I get that people want to trade the 5-minute chart, but you've got to be like busting your ass. I don't think people want to work that hard, to be honest with you. That's why they want a robot running it. So, so the key is to actually, okay, so here, these people are just guessing. I'm not going to say they may be right, but I shouldn't be rude, but I guess I'm going to read it the way I see it. You are correct. These patterns are foolproof. So I believe that. It's really, in other words, you still need a trade plan for these patterns. Some have a higher success rate than others. Well, they all have the same success rate if you know what you're looking at. You wouldn't trade a big giant congestion the way you would a tight triangle. 3 dojis in a row is not 3 engulfs. I mean, it depends what time frame you're on. So, but we're talking about 50 to 60s. But see, with tight stops, you're killing it. The key is, without over trading, the key is to know the actual fundamentals and how to read the tea leaves from there. So, I guess that's the art of trading that people talk about, Got to read those tea leaves. Yeah, not sure I agree with you on this one. A lot of in study after study, these patterns are not profitable jargon. But which study and by whom? That's what I'm asking. It doesn't take an idiot to work out the patterns work. You have to qualify to work. How do they work? Well, you have to take more than the pattern into consideration, and hand-shoulder might be consolidation. I think it means head and shoulders. Head and shoulder. I like the hand and shoulder pattern actually particularly more better. But for a continuation, for example, with the higher time frame analysis can possibly be a factor where we read on. Wait, you lost me. I have to continue on the consolidation for continuation example with a higher time frame analysis possible factors where stay on the stochastics, where out the horizontal levels to get an idea of continuation or a top. That is one example of why, for example, might not work. In summary, wow, this guy wrote a book. We're on page 85. In summary, patterns do play out, and for the ones that don't, is this guy kidding? Right? He's kidding, right? Let's see if I get this straight. He's right though. I mean, if you put, because if you've got like, say your Renko's a little off or your Fibonacci's giving you a hard time. In summary, patterns do play out, and for the ones that don't, busted patterns. Your sirens go off. How do you know it's time to fade one of these patterns too? Of course, don't forget. Later on, we'll hear from a guy that says the banks are manipulating the market to cause these patterns. Love that. So, flat earth view of trading. Busted patterns. There are rules to trade those too. Right, so he's saying that you really have to be ready for anything, right? All of a sudden all of a sudden it turns out that you're not with a girl after all, right? So let's see. We've got, and your argument about patterns being found in random data, so that proves patterns have no significance, is nonsensical. No shit. No shit. Absolutely. I mean, that is so ridiculous. He does say that. Random data isn't the market, so it is not a point. Well, even if it was, see, you should be able to trade random data too and make money. And it means that the patterns can be found in random data, you can't extrapolate that to the conclusion that patterns don't work because they're found in random data, as you don't trade random data. Well, you could. You could. And it is ridiculous. I don't know if they call it a straw man, but what is the point of chart patterns without technical analysis? Yeah, people just come unwrapped on this guy. Doesn't mean the pattern itself is useless without knowing the fundamental reason behind it. I don't know. You know, if a bear barfs in the woods, is anybody there to clean it up? The problem of survival is much more important than technical analysis. 100 people are going to a casino and playing one time versus one man going to a casino and playing 100 times is not the same. Read Skin in the Game. He does a pretty good job explaining in the market survival is first, making money second. Yeah, I'd say so. You know, a lot of these gambling people know their shit, you know, as far as I talked to a guy who gambles for a living, and he said, you know, you just can't play every hand. So that would be overplaying. You know, I mean, you still have to have some kind of pace to your game. You know, you're just going to, you know, that's how these guys in the boxing ring, you know, they kind of just, or people, horse racing, you know, you hold your horse back till the last, and then just go nuts. They don't work. Just quantity E return pattern for all patterns using empirical data. Then do a significant test to see if the expectation is statistically greater than 0. There's absolutely no sense and no value at all in visually looking at charts to determine a pattern works more than it doesn't. All your bias will come into play, and you will never be able to collect a significant enough sample size to draw any conclusion. So just go get yourself a bottle of whiskey and get fucked up, because nothing you're going to do is going to change. You'll never be able to have a clear thought, so just get more fucked up. Just for your information, I have actually done that above calc for many different patterns, indicators, setups. I have a mathematics degree, and I'm a data scientist by day. Well, hold the honey, bar the door. Katie, bar the door. We got a sophisticate. I knew there's something wrong when he said, started using all these fancy words. I knew we were in trouble. Not a single one of them shows that they perform better than random. Oh my fucking God. Okay, so let's just face it. He's not an artist, and he has no imagination. Okay, I guess that's what I'm trying to say, people. People that have a bigger imagination probably make more money trading because they can imagine the trade working out in their favor. They can actually imagine that, okay, here we go. Yeah, that's what I thought was going to happen. I mean, you just have to trust yourself at some point and have some imagination to imagine that this may be a profitable trade or it might be a losing trade. And once you imagine that and you know what that feels like, then it's for you to decide what kind of trader you want to be, winning or losing. But Jesus Christ, man. So yeah, this guy here is going to tell you, because he's got a mathematics degree, and I'm a data scientist by day. Was he collecting porn data? Well, I don't know what this guy's doing. Okay. Not a single one of them shows that they perform better than random. And let me repeat that. Now, are you sitting down? I love it. Dude, he's trying to create like it's an audio presentation. Moreover, and let me repeat that, there is not a single setup or pattern that you can use that improves your chances compared to a coin flip. Okay, this is the Mark Douglas argument, but Christ, Mark was looking at Fibonacci. Now, I gotta say, yeah, there is. And I'm just gonna say low volatility is the setup, okay? And if you can't see where the market's probably gonna go, then you probably shouldn't be trading. And I say probably, not certainly. If there's a hole, something's going in it. So this guy's answering the other guy. Wait. Please hold. I don't see it. Okay, I think he's trying to answer somebody. Patterns do help improve your trading. But, here there's the but. But they only equate to 10% of your strategy. The other 90% comes from down to money management and your position size risk. He's right. Yes, I'll give him a thumbs up for that. So, Steve Nash. I'm not acting like anything. Who's Steve Nash? I'm just relaying the approach and results that come from a mathematical standpoint. Okay. Mr. Mathematician here. Okay, this is the guy. Corpsec. I never even said there's a single outlook for each pattern. All I said was, okay, here's one of these guys. All I said was that we need to find the situation where E return something pattern. He's got this written in some kind of like mathematical formula just to destroy everybody's brain. E, which is parenthetically return I pattern, is statistically non-zero for any subset of subsets, any set or subset of patterns. Whether this includes a single outlook, 3 outlooks, 15 outlooks, 9,001 outlooks. Oh, like 9,001 certified? Doesn't matter. None of this will collapse down to the expectation. If you can indeed deduce the outlook after verifying a failure of head and shoulders pattern, then that in itself is a new pattern, which belongs to the subset pattern of which you're looking for a positive expectation. Your point is moot as a result of this. So what he's trying to say is there's fractals. So of course, the set, the subset, and without regard to volatility, which he doesn't understand that not every pattern has the same pip risk. In other words, pip movement. So he's stripping away the, you can see he's just trying to be mathematical. I sincerely doubt your personal trading experience and assumptions about how prices move is more reliable than numerous research papers by various highly intellectual people studying the problem using well-established statistical analysis techniques that have been around for centuries longer than your ugly butt and proven exceedingly useful in thousands of real-life situations. Well, Mr. Corpsecrate has spoken. Is everybody sitting down for another classroom with... God, this guy's just wordy beyond. I'm a mathematician now, you know, and I'll do data all day long. Longer than you. First, I collect data in an unbiased manner by not cherry-picking different time frames. I just take everything as it is happening in one continuous segment. I take the data and I compress it into just a smashed up like fucking, one of those market profile charts. What's just big compressed shit on the side of this? Come on, man. What do I look like, a mathematician? There are not many variables that I collect wrongly because the only numbers that make up. Oh, read more. Any single candle. Oh boy, we're talking candles. Here we go, kids. That, the candlesticks are here now. So I can get my brain around this now. I can see the picture. Everything up to this point is just pure math, but any single candle there are open, high, low, close. And I have those 4 numbers. Then I have the necessary data to represent any possible candle in existence. With that out of the way, all the artistic, the spinning tops, gravestones, the abandoned babies, the engulfs, the 3 marching soldiers. How do they exactly consider a valid pattern? Now, this is what I'm wondering. Well, this is exactly the same question you have to ask yourself. How do you identify a valid pattern? At which point do you go from saying, this is not a head and shoulders pattern yet. Not yet. Not yet. Now. This guy's kidding, right? I mean, it's true what he's saying, but man, this guy went to such lengths. He must type for a living. What conditions needed to be met? I think he means, what are the conditions needed to be met for you to be satisfied that the H&S, head and shoulders for everybody playing at home, pattern has formed? You know what I say? I got the answer for you, buddy. After you see the first shoulder, assume the head's coming and get your fucking ticket in there. Shut the fuck up and get that goddamn pencil away from being behind your ear. Go get laid or something, buddy. Jesus Christ. Step away from the fucking goddamn code for a minute. Further, using mathematical techniques, can you observe every and all pattern? I think he means patterns. Do I have to fix everybody's fucking comments? You can observe every and all patterns. Well, a computer can do that. And aggregate at various levels of granularity. Okay, that's a pipette. Or I think he means volatility, because the granularity is really a product of, when the triangles, is it a 20 pip triangle or is it a 19 pip triangle? It does make a difference for your targets and your stops and the spread of the currency, which time frame you're on. And what's the historical, what is the normal volatility for that currency in some type of maybe smooth averaged way? I don't know. Or just look at the last month. We'll assume anything inside bar trading. This is the other pattern. If you're going to trade inside bars, what you're saying is that I'm in a triangle. I'm in a doji. I'm a fucking low volatility entry. Come on. Really? It's so, people are just overcomplicating this shit. Further using, so you can use dimension reduction techniques or clustering to group variables, similar patterns together based on their visual characteristics. Yeah, if you compress the data so you can't see the forest for the trees, but I'm talking about deliberate double bottoms on the 1 hour, deliberate head and shoulders on the 1 hour, deliberate single shoulders. How about just getting in because it's turning around? How about trading a reversal for the first time in your life? No nonsense Forex trader. We don't trade reversal. We all trade trend here. So sorry. So, for example, minimizing Euclidean distances from a select number of centroids in a 4-dimensional space. Open, high, low, close. Wow, dude, I see. It's like an acid trip hanging out with this mathematician. I see you, man. Like, you mean to tell me, like, are you talking about like 3D or 4D? Open, high, low, close. Yeah, I see what you mean, man. I'm standing inside of a candle. Well, they are candles. Let's face it, they are 3D. If for whatever reason, this sounds like break in case of fire. If for whatever reason you can't hang with what I'm saying, feel free to go get a beer out of the fridge. If for any reason you don't believe this approach, then go get a beer out of the fridge. Is valid, then you can just simply go eat shit. No, you can simply get a charting expert to highlight the valid patterns, then do your analysis from there. This is far less desirable, though, because you probably want to just go fuck your wife. And as you just limited your analysis to a handful of data points versus a huge number you could use by numeric approach. Okay, so if you do it numerically, what you're saying is that you're really looking for pennants and anything that's a triangle, a wedge, fill in the blank, but that you're talking about a market that makes an explosion, it drifts in a coil. You can have a coil pattern. It starts to get a very low volatility before it takes off. Right? Isn't that really what you're looking at? Okay, so here's another critical thing. What is their entry point? And another big fallacy here, and I'll just say it straight out. These are one-trick pony traders. This whole thing is flawed. The whole premise is flawed to a real trader, because a real trader would have a scalp built in, or they've made enough money during the formation of that pattern that they don't care if the pattern works out. A real trader would think like that. A real good trader. Somebody that's thinking, holy fuck, you know what? Maybe we're in the pattern. Oh gosh, maybe it's forming right now. Like the guy said, has head and shoulders formed yet? Not yet. No, dude, you're assuming you're in the you're accumulating, you're distributing when the pros, or not the pros, but when the market's distributing. The professional traders aren't always making money. It doesn't make any sense. Like I said, you'd never be bailing a bank out. The banks would be sending you shit. Dude, we did so good this month. Not only we'd fucking rape you on your fees, but we've traded in the Forex market. In fact, we need a write-off, so we're giving shit away. Yeah, that's what they do, too. They would give shit away. When was the last time a bank gave you an iron or a toaster or something? So, what is the exit point? No shit, Sherlock. Isn't this really what it is? And what is the expected return? Now, you cannot just come out of you can't open a business and sell one fucking car, one style. Now, granted, Henry Ford did it because there was no other cars around. And he could say, you want a car? You can have any color you want as long as it's black. But then people put mods on after, I'm sure, aftermarket. And like move your stop a little bit, right? No mention of money management here. Nothing. Just this is why, I'm not saying that this guy's a defeatist. He's being clinical about the view of trading, and he doesn't even really. Plus, if you're staring at the tick chart, staring at goats, you kind of get a sense for what's going on. So the answers to number 2 and 3 should be obvious and would be true for all strategies. Now, that is not true because he's not mentioning patterns here. Now, it wouldn't be true for all patterns. Maybe it would for all strategies, but not really, because one of these would have to be a market order, right? So one of these would be on the clock. One would be on volatility, like a confirmation entry, and one would be a limit entry, which would be a non-mechanical kind of you kind of have to use your brain. But now the stop entry, a trailing stop entry in the direction of the current so-called trend, whether using moving average or the last price pulse, if it went up, it's probably going to keep going up. And so if you put a buy stop above that, even though if the range is too high for you, you don't want to trade like that. If you don't want to put your order 3 pips above last, once you realize that you feel like a sucker, and you got to find a different entry point. Same with the exit point. When you see that you're going into the other people's side of the trade, you go into the next hole, you're going to have to expect some type of rejection. So rejection is going to be when you maybe peel off the whole thing or you take off half. And of course, money management is going to be the thing that makes you money in the end. You should know that this is the correct answer before you've ever placed the trade. I don't know if this guy trades. He seems to realize that this is going to be, you have to accept your losses up front. Your experience doesn't account for anything. Nash, Steve, hey Steve-O, your experience does not count for anything. Just like the guy who won the lotto doesn't prove that you can make a lot of money playing the lotto. No, it does. I'm sorry, but it does. I just don't play it, but I mean, you can. If I have probability than the guy that doesn't. A failed Head and Shoulders is a new pattern. Oh, really? It's just a consolidation, continuation. It is the most abundantly obvious fact we have spoken of. Oh, really? We're speaking of this stuff now? This guy's really holding class. I don't know how you can. Uh-oh. Here we go. So a failed Head and Shoulders pattern is a new pattern. It is one of the most abundantly obvious facts, I think he means to say, we have spoken of so far. I don't know how you can possibly argue this when at the same time you say, if it is a Head and Shoulders fail, then I will trade the winner. It's literally a direct contradiction, and I'm not sure how you made this mistake. Oh, God. Don't tell that to Bill Williams. He's making a mint going the other way when it doesn't. So I have a Bill Williams book, and I'm not saying that this trade doesn't work, but I psychologically could not bear it. So I was trading commodities at the time, and what Bill says is if the pattern fails, double up and go against your original pattern. Which you'd be surprised how that works. But not being a guy that is very flexible, I didn't really want to even think about having to engineer a short trade plan when I was going long, so it was contradictory. You know, like this guy's saying. And this is where people have a hard time with trading, is this. Okay, well, then we double up and fucking trade the failure of it, right? So, and if people say Head and Shoulders doesn't work, then fade it. It's obvious, right? Okay, it's literally a direct contradiction. I'm not sure how you made this mistake. Bullish, bearish, fishish, dragonish, lionish outlooks would all collapse into the expected return. As mentioned before, the number of outlooks is inconsequential. No, it is, because your life is finite and there are only so many outlooks and setups left, buddy. So, you know, start learning how to trade patterns, Mr. Mathhead. I would say at this point that the expected return is in my favor. Oh, checkmate. Oh, here comes, more punishment. He didn't even let Steve come up for air. Steve has no comment. There's no way that a H&S plus failure is not a distinctly different pattern. I think you are restricting your definition of pattern to those that are popular rather than a set of probabilities. Steve Nash, how can you say I don't have the experience? I told you I bought my house with trading profits, among other expensive things like my wife. When she was a mail order bride, you know what the shipping is on that bitch? Yeah, she came in a trunk. Divergence does not exist in price action. For that, you would need technical indicators. No, actually, you just draw a trend line. Same thing. If a trend line is a technical indicator, actually, you can see divergence on your chart. In other words, you could trade RSI all day long, but after a while, you can pull it off and you can just go, you know what? I can almost guess what RSI. If you can guess what your indicator is doing by staring at the chart, you know, this is when you really free yourself from the indicators. You're like, I bet the moving average is just like fucking. I bet all. Like, really, you really need to plot that? Divergence does not exist in price action. Oh man, this poor guy. But he bought a house with his fucking. You know, he bought his house. Okay, I'll give you that. For that, you would need technical indicators, and I cannot offer you those at the moment, that are derived from price action in different manner that allow for divergence to occur. Man, what a trip. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through this. This is 460 comments, but I use some patterns as part of my toolkit. Oh, here we go. Well, I think corporate secretary will fucking take you down. This helps me read price at support and resistance levels. PA breakouts, what's that? Pivot? I don't know what a PA breakout is. Support and resistance. Point. What is a PA breakout? Confirmations. There are trend line scammers out there too. Hey, listen here, you trendline scammer. What the fuck, dude? Oh my God. Trend lines don't work. Well, what do you think a fucking support resistance level is, dumb shit? Yeah, they fucking work. They work if you work them. It's like Alcoholics Anonymous. The Fed study on Head and Shoulders made me laugh, though, as that is desecrating. Yeah, supposedly the Federal Reserve did a goddamn Head and Shoulders, meaning directors of tobacco companies. Isn't it tobacco? Am I spelling right? Directors of tobacco companies smoke in court and look at the judge square in the face and say smoking is not addictive. In the same light, banker will fund a study that discredits something which causes them to lose money. Oh, I never thought of that. No, I think they did just a bonehead review of it. Oh my God. See, this is where people's minds have gone. In other words, they discredit the chart pattern study funded by the government because they don't want you to trade against them because they're using it. Honey, I don't think the government could fucking find their way down a street if they were pushed with a tank. Really good RM, whatever that is. What's RM? Really good rate of what? With win rate of, what is RM? Rate of 65 RR, 3-1, cutting losses short, letting winners run, is profitable. Regards. Dip Financial Trading. I should sign mine like Simpleton Incorporated. Dumb shit trading. Is this dipshit trading? What are these people doing on here? What a niche market. You know, when you do a Forex search, you know, that hardly anything shows up. I did one today, and I'm telling you, there's more foreigners doing Forex videos than Americans now. Jason just won't shut the fuck up. Looking forward your next video. Joseph, oh, here's a Joseph Rosenfield. Sounds Jewish. I found some success doing the opposite of these chart patterns. It's not uncommon to see an ascending triangle break to the downside. Also, but who knows? Maybe it's just back look bias. What an even-tempered person. Oh, I went to math school. Oh, I have a degree. Listen to me, Spike. Like this one, patterns could be a confirmation on an event. Another fundamental, yeah, you ever seen a breakout come back, rip back, and blow out the bottom? I have. But just as support or 3 or 4 other confirmations before, yeah, you gotta have the confirmation in there, man. Make sure she doesn't have a communicable disease when you marry her. We'll be awaiting for part 2. I helped you to translate the title and description in Hindi. Yeah, dude, I'm gonna tell you what. I did a thing today, a search on Forex, and I'm not kidding. Hindi Forex was out of control. What is going on out there, people? Did they just make Hindus legal Forex traders? There's something going on, man. Somebody's got to get on top. Isn't there a Forex news team? Where is the Forex Weekly World News? And it's even possible to be profitable day trading. And is it even possible to be? No, not for you. With that fucking attitude, I believe everyone will either trust that charts if they've been successful, and others won't if they failed at it. I wish these people would proofread their shit. I can't speak. People may accuse me of not speaking properly. These motherfuckers can't write. I can't read any of this stuff in here verbatim. All up to the individual. I occasionally look at this guy. Man, how hammered is he? The C key, how far is that from the E key? Dude, that's like a row. I occasionally just research a company and invest long term. Easy money. Yeah, dude. I'm fucking be dead by the time it's profitable. Hey, good thing you held on to that stock. What's it worth now? What's it been, 40 years? It's half value. I cash in and get some beer. Did part 2 ever come out yet? These people, like a day ago. Here we're into the latest commentary. Now we're in the fresh comments because I was reading the answers to the other people there. So people are just they're just waiting on bated breath here, man. Every day people are like, did part 2 come out yet? Like part 1 was so fucking ridiculous. I'm curious, what do you say about zone? What you say about zones? Because he's claiming that zone trading is what, oh sure, just get into zone there. I don't want to be specific about my entry. That's how I trade. No shit, that's how everybody trades, dumb shit. Jesus Christ. I mean, this guy, why does this guy do this all clickbait bullshit? Do patterns really work? I don't know. Does fucking make babies? But I don't use patterns to plot them out. Chart patterns work. However, sometimes patterns change. I agree with him. Wait for it. Very odd. Isolating pattern itself, probably ensuring random data. You can't discount something such as a trending stock where certain patterns can be anticipated and others cannot. Yes, you have to anticipate, I think. You have to have imagination. If you unmarry the pattern recognition from the analysis, then of course it's just random data. Absolutely. Yeah, if you just look at it like, oh, we just have another pattern here. It's got to be contextual, for God's sakes. Oh, did I mention that? Context matters. Like, what is this thing? Patterns, they're like words. You mean to tell me that you can just put up all these? You have 26 letters in the alphabet, and these people are making sense out of these? Yeah, I guess you just can't throw letters at people and tell a story. The market is telling a story if you have half a brain, I suppose. if you unmarry the pattern recognition from the analysis, right? If you it's married. It's a story. Goddammit. It's a couple going to make babies. That's wave 5 is retirement. Anyways, check out the video. Cheers to being contrarian. Yes, I'm a contrarian, so I agree with him. Great stuff for sure, man. Damn, this video is creepy. So, Auto Speaks. Now, this is the one I had a question, and I had to ask this guy because I am curious. Now, this is what people are claiming, even though the CME claims they're trading Bitcoin. Yeah, it's true. Numerous studies show that none of it works over any great length of time in stocks or Forex. However, in crypto, it does tend to work. Reason being that it's a small market and it's dominated by bots. Now, is this fucking true? This makes no fucking sense. Many of which are programmed to trade based on chart pattern recognition. Really? Then they're all fighting against each other. The bots are actually making the chart, just like real people though. The bots are making the... Now this is... Really? I looked at Bitcoin. To be honest with you, it makes Forex look like a highly liquid, smooth market. So I got to say this guy's full of shit. Bots are actually making the chart patterns play out. Forex and stocks have such high liquidity that nothing can really move them. Oh, really? Try getting on the wrong side of the market, buddy. And, of course, do you really want it moving all the time? You want it to get quiet, and you want it to set up. You want it to get, like, to a place where you can get in that's a little less risky, don't you? You need a bunch of banks and stocks fund colluding. It's possible that if it happens sometimes, but probably not most of the time. In Bitcoin, there's no banks involved. Really? You don't know that. Besides, it's trading on a real exchange, isn't it still? Did they shut down the CME's Bitcoin exchange yet? Just retail traders and bots. Oh, really? There's no big money in, really? Just retail? So, I don't get this. No banks involved, huh? Really? Maybe not officially, right? It could be, you know, the old joke is if you owe the bank 10 grand, the bank owns you. If you owe the bank $5 billion, you own the bank. Right? That's what happened to Trump. So why did Trump make it through the bankruptcy? Because the bank said to him, whatever we can do, man. Besides, he was around when the loans were ridiculous and he wouldn't take it. They go, you know, we can get you a bigger loan. He goes, I don't need it. He's not an idiot. It could be, it could move, it could be moved by a few deep stacked bots reacting to the same pattern and indicators at the same time. Okay, but they're just going to trade against each other, just like people. And I asked him, and the bots are losing? Because if they're winning, get me one of the bid bots and we'll just turn that on and let it go, right? People make assumptions, I think. I don't know. Is this guy? No, I didn't go to this page. Love to see part 2 when it's ready. No, we'll show it to you before it's ready. How's that? He's trying to be polite. Is it done yet? Where's part 2, man? Looking forward to watching it. Thanks. As Forex is unregulated and therefore manipulated, highly likely. Now, this is the classic line you hear all the time. As Forex is unregulated and therefore manipulated, it is highly likely that the bank cartels collude to produce price action, to produce these patterns to entice liquidity into the market for them to ultimately reverse and price direction triggering stops to accumulate profits. I can't even read that, man. He's missing something like another word he needs in there. How tight's your stop? I ask him. Now Poindexter's going to step up to the plate here. Look at this guy. Is this really this guy? Eamon Bay. Eamon Bay says, I got directed here by someone I follow on Facebook, but very happy I did. You come across as a very sincere, open, and no BS kind of guy. And I am very new to trading. I only demo trade account so far on FX, but I actually asked myself the very same thing. All these charts and patterns, isn't it just a way to keep the common man away by shrouding some kind of mystic dark art? Why can't people write in complete sense? Shouldn't it be by shrouding it in some kind of mystic or dark art? The other day, I basically jumped down the AUX USD pair. You mean gold? Demo trade. I wrote it up. Now riding it down. No charts. No analysis. Just following the trend. Seems to work fine. That's what I'm talking about. This guy nails it. Eamon Bay. Telling it straight like it is. I be talking about these chop patterns. I just follow the market. Just be careful, though, in concluding that because you are successful in a demo account, you will also be successful with real money. Emotions play a very big role in Forex trading. With real money. Once the chart goes against your trend or your range or your trade, you will want to bail out right away to preserve your money. I don't know. I don't think that's true. I've blown up many an account. I just don't get why I would not get out right away. I'll stand in front of the train, thank you. I'll take my risk. That will not happen in demo accounts. You will ride the reversals in the demo account with no fear. I don't know. I kind of fear. I fear losing my demo money because I fear that if these were real trades I was doing, I mean, I could still. Doesn't anybody in Flight Simulator, if you crash the plane, don't you feel a little twinge like I fucked up? Yes, I hear you. I hear what you are saying. My concept method is, when not riding trends, is to enter trade with stop loss and take profit already set with a 1% risk account size. Then pull the trigger. Sting. Basically committing to the trade. If the stop loss, if it hits the stop loss, so be it. If it hits the take profit, good. Wow, what an amazing. That is really what it's about. I give him a thumbs up. That's why trading's so fucking boring. That's all it is. I can't say I would do the 1%, but wow, he just kind of his attitude's perfect, you know. So be it. Don't be all bent out of shape, buddy. It's just trading. It's not sex. Thanks for the video. I've been telling my friends, traders, I don't believe in Fibonacci sequence. Good for you. Oh shit. I blew past his brilliant comment. There you go. 2 replies. Oh, some Fibonacci is laugh a lot. Yeah, no wonder people lose all their money. The whole market is formed around Fibonacci. You just need to know. Oh, look at this guy. Now, here's the guy that's rooting for Fibonacci. Isn't that cute? Now, apparently it's a belief system, because this guy's saying, oh, laugh out loud, it doesn't work. No wonder people lose their money. The whole market is formed around Fibonacci. You just need to know how to use it properly. Now, I've heard this one. Everything's in here. You don't have to make a comment hardly. Everything that's kind of currently being thought, this is a week ago. This is the cutting edge of knowledge in Forex right here. Big bank, watch this video. If you understand this video, then you know what I'm talking about. Let's take a look at that later. Wow. Big Bang Theory. Good, ready for part 2. Thanks. Everybody's ready for part 2. It's been a couple months now, people. Don't hold your breath. Oh, No Nonsense Forex sent me here. Oh my God, no. No, they're colluding. Is Phil Collins going to sign up for it too? Head and Shoulders is a shampoo. Everyone knows that. Wow, what a comedian. Does they still make Head and Shoulders? Dandruff reducing device. Awaiting. Anyways, it goes on and on. So, pretty funny stuff. Oh, VP brought. So the VP trader, wow, he's sending. Oi. The whole world's gonna. And all these guys will all be trading the same system, and the market will just stop. The market will stand still, huh? Is that what's going to happen?